Good morning, children. Today, our discussion will be on demand and law of demand. It is chapter 2. It's very easy and interesting chapter. Children always attempt questions from this in the boards. In this class, we will discuss the meaning and types of demand. Now, what is demand? Three terms are used very much in economics. Demand is different. Now, what is demand? There are three concepts: want, desire, and demand. Demand indicates a higher level. So, what is demand? Desire or want is wish to have something. But when this wish is backed by ability to pay, then it becomes demand. So, what is demand? We can say effective desire. Effective means that can be fulfilled. A wish, a desire that can be fulfilled because it has the ability to pay. So this concept is clear, that in simple terms, if I say what is demand, you will say it is effective desire for a commodity. Now, the exact definition as given in the book: demand refers to the quantity of commodity which consumers are willing to buy and able to buy or able to purchase at different prices over a period of time. So there are four main concepts that are related to demand. So when you are defining or when you are giving the definition of demand, see that these four words are there in your definition, then it is correct. These are called keywords, because without them it would be meaningless. Now, what is demand? Quantity of commodity. In simple language, don't go into too much technical detail, just understand what is it. Quantity of commodity that a consumer is willing to buy. That means willingness is there, ability is there to purchase at different prices over a period of time. Because whenever you talk of demand, suppose you say demand for cars is 500, it is meaningless unless I mention in the year 2019-20. This reflects time. And this also is incomplete if I don't mention the prices. For example, 7.5 lakh per car. So that means whenever I am giving a statement on demand, it should reflect time and price too. That's why, now what do we conclude? What are the three features of demand? It is the effective desire for a commodity. It should always with reference to time and price. Now come to, in the beginning, one concept I have missed out that you must learn for objective, that is different. It's given in the first page: free goods and economic goods. This you should know, because in the exam sometimes objective question comes: what is free good and economic good, which do not have a price. They do not have a price, and secondly, they are abundant. They are not scarce. What are economic good? Economic goods are those goods which command a price. They have a price. And secondly, they are scarce. They are limited. They are limited. That's why they have, or goods are useful. They have usefulness. But the goods that are abundant are useful. They do not have price. For example, sunlight. Sunlight doesn't have price. Air doesn't have price, because they are free goods. They don't have a price. They are abundant, so they do not command a price. Two keywords are there, but you don't have to use the keywords. Remember, children, in class 12th level, you have to write complete sentences. So give a definition is given in the book. Free goods are those goods which do not command a price. They are abundant in the economy. Example: sunlight, air. This is complete two-mark answer. If it is asked what are economic goods, then you will say economic goods are those goods which are useful but they are scarce, and that's why they have a price. That's why they are called economic goods. Now, why did I discuss between free good and economic good? Because we are going to discuss demand of economic goods only. In economics, we are not concerned with free goods. Now let's come to the various types of demand. This portion may not be there in the scope, but you have to prepare it for objectives. Just the differences definition as to 2-mark question. Now we cannot leave because they have already reduced some chapters. So therefore you need to prepare whatever is there in this chapter in detail. Now the first type is the difference between individual demand and market demand. What is individual demand? Demand for the commodity by one single consumer. Single consumer you can write. You can write a consumer. You can write a household. Because household means a family who has a head and that person is buying. So one household reflects one's consumer only. A single household, a household. So what is individual demand? Clear? So but exactly if I ask you what is individual demand or household demand, this question also comes as household demand. So you will write the quantity of commodity that a single household is willing to buy, able to buy at different prices over a period of time. Definition is given. So whenever you are defining household demand, those 4 keywords have to be there. The single consumer or household is willing to buy, able to buy at different prices over a period of time. While market demand reflects to the demand of all consumers. You have to keyword here is all consumers or all households. Rest of the definition is same as that of demand. So you will write the quantity of commodity that all households are willing to buy, able to buy at different prices is known as market demand. Now come to another concept, and that is concept of your ex ante ex post demand. What is ex ante? Actually in economics, the variables, for example, what you plan to save may not be what you actually end up saving. Same way, what you plan to supply, you do not end up supplying. Same way, here what you plan to demand means what you are thinking you will buy, but you don't end up buying that many. Maybe there can be many reasons for that. So, what a consumer is willing to buy reflects ex ante demand, or what he actually ends up buying is known as ex post demand. They may be equal, they may not be equal. Now what is joint demand? Joint demand means they are demanded, demand for goods which are they are together demanded. That means, for example, you can say ink and pen, car and petrol. So these are basically demand for complementary goods. Those who had economics, they know what are complementary goods. You should know that goods, economic goods, can be related or unrelated. Related goods can be substitutes which can be used in place of each other, and complementary goods which are used together. Complementary. This is together. So demand for complementary goods is joint demand. They are demanded together to fulfill the want. Now 2 more concepts. What is derived demand? Derived means demand for a good which arises because of some demand for other good. For example, why do you demand ink? Because ink is used for filling the pen. So there is demand for pen, therefore demand for ink, which arises. So what is derived? Means the demand for a commodity arises because of demand of some other commodity. So demand for ink can be derived demand. Demand for petrol can be derived demand because it arises because there is demand for car. Last is composite demand. What do you mean by composite demand? The demand for commodities, those commodities which have multiple uses. Multiple uses means, for example, electricity. You know, you can put up electricity to variety uses. Demand for steel, milk, these type of commodities have composite demand. So this portion you prepare mainly for objective 2 mark questions. It's very easy. Write the definitions once in your register and learn. Then you don't have to memorize. Main question that can come is, mostly the objectives that come is difference between individual and market demand, or ex ante ex post demand, and the one is what is meaning of demand. Okay children, thank you.